Long shot through the crowd. Score! Comet score win. It's a big one for the Kings.
91, Colin Chaulk, Toronto, Ontario, captain.
I guess the first question is, how much say do you have in what the lines look like, as far as who plays on what lines and whatnot?
Sure. I don't know. I guess sometimes it sort of depends. For the most part, the coaching staff will put the lines together, and then, but they may ask, a returning player or maybe an older player, say, who do you want to play with? Because what that does, it sets up some accountability, right? If he says, I want to play with, Ian and John or whatever, and then it doesn't work out, the coach can kind of come back to you and say, well, listen, I gave you, the guys you want to play with, and, you're not really, giving the effort, or it's not working out. So, sometimes there's that communication. Other times it's just, they want to ruffle the feathers a little bit and put guys with, whom you may not want to be with, and you just kind of have to deal with it, So, as far as how much I say, they would ask me, who do I want to play with, or we'll try you with this. So I don't, in the end, they have, the coach, Al, has the decision, They may ask for your input sometimes, but it's everyone kind of knows how it's going to, there's 9 guys, everyone kind of has their role, and you sign in the summertime, it's sort of predetermined on how it's going to work out. Unless it doesn't work out, then they start, what do you think, and kind of goes from there,
Do game day changes to the lineup occur based on game day practice, or is it based more on gameplay or total week practice? Is that the same for goalies too, as far as practicing?
For the most part, again, like as long as you're producing and you're winning, I guess is the where you're being competitive, they're not really going to shake the lines up, because it takes a while to kind of get some chemistry and kind of understand that where guys are going to be, and try and work smart instead of just going out there. And everyone is so systematic now that it's difficult to just throw 3 guys together or a team together and be successful, because you need to kind of be in a general area and then kind of put the puck or the ball or whatever, and because it's just everyone is so organized and so well prepared nowadays in all the sports. So they're not really changing things, based on like how you practice. You could be, terrible practice player, you can still be a first line or top scorer or whatever. You don't practice well,
Right.
Game day, same thing. Like some guys feel terrible on like a game day skate, and then they go home and have a good meal and a nap, and then they feel great in the evening. Sometimes in the morning they feel great and they're like, oh, I don't like this. It's this might not be good. So you sort of start to play tricks in your head, and your mind kind of you kind of realize when you're younger, you don't realize how powerful it is, and you're like, oh man, the last time I felt great in the morning skate, I played terribly. Does that mean I'm going to play terribly again? So it's like, no, it doesn't really have any bearing as far as how you, unless you're maybe a young guy, you're not established at all, and like you're wrecking the drills, you're not focused, you're not paying attention, you're not prepared. Maybe if you're on the bubble and you might not play, it might push you over the edge to say, this guy's going to start some commitment, and
Right.
So would you say most of those lines are established before the season starts?
Yeah, I would
without
say.
much changes?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah. Our lines were, we had like a general idea, like it was going to be Chaulk and Marino and Giosa and Smith, and the red line, which was from last year's team, they were going to stay intact. They really wanted to keep that.
Which is, I don't know if
That
you guys know,
presence.
Schrock, Thorne, and Risk, I think.
Yeah, Schrock,
Yeah, they
Thorne,
were
and
on the
Risk.
same line last
Yeah,
year.
they were on the same line last year, and they just had so much chemistry, and they really took pride in their role on the team. So they really just kind of they bought what the staff and the team was selling, and that's really what you're trying to do is
Culture.
you're really just trying to get someone to buy what you're selling, and if it's motivating, or in merchandising or branding, or
Oh, yeah.
and then you have that tipping point, and then from then on your momentum is unstoppable
Right.
once you get to that point. So
Right.
they're pretty, then it's trying to, if it doesn't go well, then you start juggling, then you start plugging and moving, and if you have to break that red line up because of injuries, or lack of production, or
Whatever.
You know, whereas like last year, like Brett Smith and Bobby Shomont, they were two guys that were really hot for like, you know, first half of the season. So you knew that, you know, it was going to take a lot for them to be broken up. You know, they would always kind of put a new winger in. Okay, things aren't working, put another guy in there, but don't break those two up. You know, so it's like.
You had mentioned the mental aspect to
Mhm.
the game or to the warm-ups or
Yes.
whatever the case may be. How much does that play into your game or
Mhm.
any player's game? Or, I mean, if you see somebody that might be getting too much into their head, do you tell them, is there a way that you try to work them out of that, or that you work yourself out of it
Sure.
and just go on instinct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, it's I don't know if it's age or you know or maturity or you know sometimes a little bit of both.
Crowd size.
Crowd size, absolutely. A lot of it plays. You know, sometimes when people come here, they you know the first time they're skating around and warm up, and they're kind of you see catch them kind of looking around because they're not used to you know a larger this size of a venue. Now, in the ECHL, there's newer buildings. It's maybe not going to be that much of an advantage or disadvantage. You know. But the mental aspect is huge. Like for myself to be an impact player at this level, I would say that I pay attention to the you know the small details as far as like the mental things. If I see a team that's yelling at the ref a lot, like I'll use that as motivation for our team to say, you know, look at these guys. They see a little bit of adversity, they're crying at the ref. You know, at the ref. You know, just you know, you get a penalty, just go to the penalty box. You know. You yell at the ref, you got 7,000 people, now everyone's looking at you because you're throwing your hands in the air and you're yelling at the ref, and you know, and now, you know, just go to the box, shut up, just sit there, and serve your 2 minutes, and get out there, and you know, I mean, but